Hey everybody, welcome to the Warp. I'm Jack Rita. I'm going through all of the aliens in Fantasy Flight's edition of Cosmic Encounter and deciding for myself what do I think is the best alien that starts with a specific letter, and we are on the letter R. And there's a half a dozen R aliens, and they're all pretty close in their usability and how decent they are. None really jumped out as like, oh, it's definitely got to be this one. So after careful consideration, I decided to settle on Reserve. This is a base game alien that was first published in the Mayfair edition of the game, which introduced reinforcements, and that plays into Reserve's ability, although not reinforcement cards per se. Well, a little bit. Let's take a look at what it does, and then I'll go into more why I think it's the best R alien. So you have the power to reinforce. So as a main player or ally, after encounter cards are revealed, you may use this power to play one or more attack cards of 6 or less from your hand as if they were reinforcement cards of their listed value. And then, as a secondary effect, as a main player or ally, when another player plays a reinforcement card, you may use this power to discard a negotiate card to cancel and discard that reinforcement card. So Reserve has two effects, both of which are pretty decent. It can be used as a main player or an ally, so that's a big deal. It's an alien that you're going to get to use a lot. As long as you're involved in the encounter in some capacity, then you're going to be able to use your ability, provided that you have the cards in hand. So there will definitely be times where you just don't have any attack cards that are 6 or lower, and you may not have a negotiate card in which to cancel somebody else's reinforcement. But that is not terrible, because it means that you're either close to getting a new hand because you're low on encounter cards, or it means that you have a bunch of counter cards, but they're all higher than 6, which is generally pretty good. So maybe you've got a bunch of 8s and 9s, maybe 10s, which are not super high, but they're okay. Reserve is an alien that's going to help you out with hand management, which I think is a critical part of the game. Hand management is key to how you are ultimately going to win the game most of the time. For most players, you are stuck with that initial hand that you are dealt with for most, if not all, of the game. So you're trying to decide when is your optimal time to play the high cards or the low cards or the negotiates. And so Reserve has a lot more flexibility with that, because they're not going to be forced to play those low cards. They're going to be able to unload them and get some value for it. So even as a main player, even as the defense, but more importantly as the offense or an offensive ally, helping you to get a foreign colony by contributing a bunch of reinforcements to help seal the victory, at the same time shedding them from your hand. So you're going to be more likely to draw a new hand. You'll be getting them more regularly than the average Cosmic Encounter alien or player. And then, like I said, getting value out of it. So that's why I think Reserve is the best alien. So there are a couple other that were interesting, a couple other aliens. Relic gets to gets a foreign colony whenever somebody draws a new hand, but in a lower player counts, they may not be drawing new hands as often, or at a higher player count, certainly that you've got more players that can trigger it. But again, it's not necessarily going to happen any more frequently. So I've seen Relic never get to use their alien power at all in a game. I've seen them where they get, we used it once, maybe twice. People are more likely to hold on to it. Of course, with Relic in the game, Reserve is like, I don't necessarily want to give you a foreign colony. So it's a nice foil. But Relic is going to get to use their alien power a lot more often. And if they're using their alien power, it's probably helping them to win encounters, and that's helping them to win the game. So that's why I think Relic is the best R alien. If you think there's a better alien that starts with the letter R, make your case in the comments. We can certainly get into a discussion there, but I stand by Reserve, at least for now. Make your case on any of the other aliens. Like I said, there's a couple that they're pretty good. There's no bad R aliens, I don't think. I think they're all pretty good, but I think Reserve stands out a little bit more than the others. So that is it for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.